Last week, we talked about the compounding effect of your habits. Today, I'm back to help you pinpoint which of your habits don't serve you in your quest for weight loss and, of course, what to do about them. So let's do this. You are listening to Weight Loss Made Real, and this is episode 242. I'm your host, master weight loss coach and author, Cookie Rosenblum. Today and every Tuesday, I'm here to be your coach and your guide to help you end your emotional eating and lose that extra weight. If you just found me, welcome. And if you're a regular listener, welcome back. Here is where we work together to end your emotional eating and habitual overeating, and it's the main focus of all the work I do. This is weight loss for the thinking woman, the woman who is smart enough to know what doesn't work and is willing to dig a little deeper to make lasting change. Here is where coaching meets psychology and psychology meets brain science, and this is where your problem ends. Now, there are 3 ways that you can connect with me. Number 1 is listening to these podcasts. These podcasts are created by me for you to share some new helpful ideas for you to think about and help you understand why you do what you do. Then, number 2, there is a free Facebook group, which you've heard me mention, and it's called Weight Loss Made Real, just like this podcast, where you can join and we talk about the podcast and the action step in the podcast. And my team and I connect with you there. And finally, number 3 is the Freedom Group, and that is where real change takes place with me as your coach. It's a monthly membership for smart women like you who want to stop that stress eating and the habitual overeating and are ready to make space for more happiness in their life. You can learn more about the Freedom Group at weightlossmadereal.com/group or check out those show notes. So let's dive in talking about habits that do not serve you. We talk about habits a lot here. Last episode, number 241, I talked about the compounding effects of your habits. And if you listen to that episode, you know that I mean that each thing you do gives you a result, right? And that result grows, just like interest compounding on money in the bank. The result is bigger than what you started with. So whether you're thinking about a good habit you have that affects your eating and your weight, or a habit that you wish you didn't have, all of your habits count and add up or compound. So you need to be aware of what you're doing, of course, especially if we're talking about an area of your life that you might not be happy with. One of the big picture goals that I wish for you is to build habits that support your weight loss and your life as you would like it to be. Building these kinds of habits puts you in charge, just like an artist who's creating a piece of art. You're creating your life just the way you want it to be. Today, I want to talk about the habits you have that are not working for you. We all have them. And you don't need to eliminate every single habit that's not helpful. We're not going for perfection. That's never the goal. But you do want to have most of your habits working for you and your goals. That way you're moving toward the goals, not stagnating or moving in the opposite direction. Being stuck can happen with your awareness or without it. So even if you're not aware of all your habits, now is a good time to step back and look at your results. And if you look at your results, you'll be able to see what you've been doing, those habits that got you there. Habits are simply behaviors that you repeat over and over again with very little thought. And habits are great because they allow you to save that mental energy instead of weighing every single decision that you make. You might have a really quick, fleeting thought about what you want to do, and then just like that, because of habit, you're doing it. and no more thought is required. So this saves your mental energy for other things that really require your attention. Your habits let you take action without having to decide whether you should or shouldn't do something. Now, skipping the part where you decide whether you should or shouldn't do something, sometimes that's a good thing, but not always. Let's look at some examples together. It's great when you have an automatic habit that works for you. You wake up, you get out of bed, and before or after getting ready for your day, you brush your teeth, right? It's a no-brainer, almost literally. You probably don't have to sit down and weigh the pros and cons of brushing your teeth. You don't have to be in a certain mood to brush your teeth, and you don't have to be highly motivated to do it. And you don't have to sit and create a vision board to get yourself excited about your toothbrushing outcome. Why? Well, you don't have to do all those things because you've created a strong pathway in your brain. You think or feel or do something, and then you brush your teeth. Habit formed, habit maintained. And it's maintained because you do it often, and your brain takes over and puts that habit on automatic speed dial for you. But what happens if you have a habit that you do automatically and it doesn't serve you? And you know very well that if you're carrying some extra weight on your body, it's there because of some of your less helpful habits. Your unhelpful habits seem to happen almost without your consent. It's so fast, it's so automatic. Only this time, you're in a certain situation and bam, without it seeming like you're even thinking about it, you just find yourself doing it, that thing that you don't want to do, the thing that you want to stop doing because you know it's not helping you. Maybe one of your unhelpful habits is when someone offers you food that looks appealing and you say, yes, thank you. And you eat it without thinking about it, without even considering whether you're even hungry. And then, of course, you're mad at yourself after the fact. That's when you wake up and you see that you really didn't want to do that, but you did it again without thinking. It gets frustrating, doesn't it? That automatic response is so fast, it's hard to stop it. It's hard to catch it. But if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that beating yourself up after the fact is not helpful either. That response isn't going to help you stop doing the habit. So, what can you do? How do you stop your habits that don't serve you? Well, first, you, of course, need to notice them, not only what they are, but when and how you do them. What are the triggers or causes that come right before you do this habit? The best way to start changing a habit is to start to work on changing what happens before the habit kicks in. And that thing that comes before you do the habit, that's the trigger. So you can change the trigger or eliminate the trigger, and that will help you change the habit that comes next. That's a really important starting point because otherwise the automatic response of the habit, it just keeps happening. Now here's another thing to know about habits that you wish you didn't have. There is something else going on. And here's the big question to get at that. What's going on under the surface? What are you getting out of this negative habit? If you're anything like my Freedom Group members, you're probably going to say, nothing. There is no benefit to doing this habit, and I would give anything to stop doing it. I'd even pay money to stop doing this habit. All right, I want you to slow down and think about this. Every single action you take has a secret upside. Some benefit, even if it doesn't make sense on the surface of things. Even if you're not consciously aware of this upside, it's there. It's a hidden benefit that you need to acknowledge before you can let go of the habit. What are you getting out of it? Now, here are some examples I want to give you to show you what I mean by hidden benefits. Number one, you're in the habit of blowing off any type of exercise routine that you do. you're frustrated with yourself, and you really want to move your body, but it's hard to get out of bed early enough in the morning. Or it's hard to change into your workout clothes and get moving at the end of the day. So what's the benefit of this habit of blowing it off? It could simply be that you're allowing yourself to be lazy, to sleep in, to have some downtime after work. Now, you might not see that as the benefit, but it's there, and your mind is directing you to that benefit. And you benefit in the moment being lazy, but of course, not in the long term, right? Here's another example. One of your habits is to zone out in front of the television while watching your favorite show at the end of the day. And when you zone out, somehow chips and junky snacks find their way into your mouth. You say that you want to stop doing this, right? But there's a hidden benefit. And what is the benefit of this habit to you? Why would you keep doing it? Well, in the moment, it's letting you escape from the stress and conflicts of your day. It's temporarily letting you escape from your to-do list or things that you just don't want to think about. And again, this is a temporary benefit, and in the moment, it's very appealing. Or you might have a habit, our third example here, you might have a habit of starting an eating plan to lose some extra weight on a Monday. You might even do this every Monday, and you're thinking right now, well, why is this a bad habit? Because it's not helpful for reaching a weight loss goal. How do I know that? Because usually by Wednesday, you're back where you started. So why do you keep on setting that Monday goal? Because it temporarily lets you think you're taking action and making progress. And that feels good even though it doesn't last. And doing the same thing each Monday is easier than slowing down and figuring out what would really work. But after you do your unhelpful habit, you're disappointed with yourself because you know that what you're getting in the moment isn't nearly as good as what you really want. And that small benefit that you get, it doesn't last, and it doesn't help you with your goal. It derails you from your real goals. But you do it again and again. That's what a habit is. Well, now you are ready to stop, right? Here's how you can get rid of some of those habits that are not in your best interest. Let's just sum it up. First, you notice what the habits are one by one. And then you choose just one. Don't worry about all the things you want to change. Pick one and take it apart. Take it apart so that you could see what's happening before the habit, what those cues or triggers are. And secondly, be honest and see if you could identify what the hidden benefit for you might be that you get from doing that habit. And now you need to replace what you were getting from the habit in a way that really genuinely helps you. So if you consistently blow off your movement, your exercise, because you really are just longing to be lazy and have some downtime, that might be what you need. Then I want you to consider taking a break and giving yourself some downtime intentionally. Schedule it in. Don't sneak it. You don't have to do it behind your own back. Acknowledge that you need it and find a time that will work for you and it won't disrupt those exercise plans. If you regularly just zone out and eat mindlessly to escape uncomfortable feelings, which you know we work on a lot here, then you need to learn how to manage your mind so that you could cope with uncomfortable feelings and situations because they are a part of life. Yes, you can choose better feelings. It's possible. But you also just need to make the connection between this happens, I think this, I feel that, I run for the chips. And when you start seeing what you're doing and how everything is connected, you won't be turning to mindless eating to distract yourself. You'll be aware there won't be something that you need to distract from. And if you keep starting your weight loss plan on a Monday, only to fall off midweek, I want you to understand that doing this each week is not helping you reach your goal. So stop doing that to yourself. What you really want is to feel proud that you're making progress. And you do that not with giant actions that you can't keep up with. You do that with tiny actions that will build on each other. And instead of setting those meaningless Monday goals, you'll actually move yourself toward what you want with a tiny, tiny little chunk of your goal that is so easy, you have no excuse not to do it. Now, when we're done here, I want you to go and re-listen to the last episode, number 241, if you need to learn more about breaking goals down to that tiny 1% that makes a difference. So the next time you're frustrated with your inability to stop doing habits that you know are not helpful, habits that you want to stop, remember that you must be getting something out of it, and your next step is to figure out what that is and fix it. And this week, think about just one unhelpful habit that you're kind of addicted to. What is the hidden benefit you might be getting out of doing it? And then you can move on from there and work on it. I know you can do this 100% for sure. That is it, my friend, for this subject in our coaching session today. You know what you're going to think about and what you'll stay focused on this week. I really want to take a moment to thank you for being here with me and thank yourself for giving yourself this little gift of time during your day or during your evening, working on you in a kind, compassionate way. Now, if you'd like to connect on a deeper level and you're not yet in the Freedom Group, which will open soon, come join me in my free Facebook group where we talk about the podcast each week, and my team and I help you take the action step that we talk about right here. The link to the group is in the show notes of this episode, or you can go to Facebook and just in the search bar on the top, put in Weight Loss Made Real Group. We'll ask you a few short questions, and then we will admit you right into the group. I hope to see you back here next week, where we will, of course, continue to work on the emotional eating and that habitual overeating step by step until they both become something you used to do. We know that's your ultimate goal. So for now, this is your Coach Cookie reminding you that as you search for answers, keep it real, just like you. And I will see you next week.